My name is Leanne Smith. I'm the Director of the Whitlam Institute within Western Sydney University, and we are located in the Female Orphan School, which is on the Rydalmere campus of Western Sydney University. Before the Orphan School was here, this was Darug land, the Darug people of Parramatta, and this building was built in 1813. So I think one of the amazing things about this space that we're working in and bringing the community into now is that it was built in 1813, and that makes it the oldest three-storey building in the country. The building was built by Governor Macquarie and Elizabeth Macquarie, who both had a big part in the design of the space and what it would be used for. So there's some suggestion that this building was designed based on the Macquarie's family home in Scotland, which is a really beautiful and unusual piece of architecture for this part of Parramatta. Interestingly, the orphan bit was not entirely true, so I think it was only 20% of the girls who came here were actually orphans. Most of them had either one or two parents who might be living in extreme poverty or perhaps working jobs that meant that they couldn't take care of their kids, so they sent their girls here. And most of the girls who came here came on a voluntary basis, so as an institution it wasn't an enforced time here. It was actually seen as an opportunity to come here and get an education and get away from downtown Sydney. So the girls came by boat up the Parramatta River, and that river is right out the front of the Female Orphan School now, and you can imagine through each phase of history how that was the main artery from Sydney CBD to Parramatta. I suppose the next interesting phase of the building came a lot later in the 1880s until the mid-1980s, when this building was the Rydalmere Psychiatric Hospital. When we bring people on tours of the building, there are several elements we like to draw out for their attention. These wash basins and the shower recess, these were from the Psychiatric Hospital time. There's some amazing brickwork upstairs. One of the interesting things about the construction of this building for me is that Samuel Marsden insisted that the building not be constructed by convict labour, so it's one of the first buildings where it was built by paid workers. So all of this brickwork reflects that. But one of the most interesting parts of it to me was the original fireplaces of this building were converted. They were all tiled and had slabs of timber built into the fireplaces to use as toilets because there was no plumbing in the building. So it's really interesting. You know, we host these art exhibitions in these beautiful historic heritage spaces, and if you just look with a keen eye at any of the detail, you can really draw out some of how hard and cold and difficult it must have been living in a building like this at that time with no facilities or services. During the Psychiatric Hospital phase, the Royal Botanical Gardens provided over 400 trees and shrubs to create a kind of a healthy open space for the inmates to live in, but also to work in. So gardening was a big part of the therapy for people at that time. So the gardens, the jacaranda trees outside still reflect the investment that was made by the state in creating a healthy welfare environment. After the Psychiatric Hospital closed, the building was derelict, and there were some former inmates of the Psych Hospital who were squatting here. It was crumbling from the inside. It was really in a derelict state. And I think it was in 1993 that Western Sydney University approached the state government about purchasing the land, including the building, and made a commitment to restore the building to the international best practice standards. So that was a great opportunity. And since 2013, it's been the home of the Whitlam Institute. So now this building is a space for public policy engagement. The building houses the 40,000 odd items of the Whitlam Prime Ministerial Collection. This building is part of the Parramatta Heritage Partners Group that includes Elizabeth Farm and the Female Factory and a number of other institutions. And we're all part of putting together the jigsaw of the history of this part of the colony at the time, New South Wales and Australia.